Now this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. So it was the man that declared all of this to what was presented to him. Amen? So they were made to complement one another well. Now when we start living with each other, start living with each other. And that's when things start getting a little different. Amen? Because if you know, like I know, if you live with somebody for a certain amount of time, there's going to be some things that get under your skin that bother you, because when you're in your mama house, you matter of fact, there's some things in there that bothered you. But you could go in your room and lock the door, or close the door gently. Yeah. Nowadays, kids just go and slam the door and lock the door. There was a time I almost didn't have no doors in my house. So I'll take them off the hinges. You understand? But you dare make me wait to come in this room again. Like, what in the world? You think you ain't want no doorknob be right? You see in my eye. But once we get to cohabitating, it's a difference. It's a difference, and you have to learn how to love one another. You have to learn how to caress one another, and you just got to learn one another. I'm going to go to one scripture on tonight, 1 Peter 3:7. I'll go there for you. 1 Peter 3:7. Once I got the whole thing right now. Those who have your Bibles, you can go to it. And then we're going to get to this exercise. It's not going to take us long. But 1 Peter 3:7 says these words: likewise, you husbands, that's right, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life. That's very important. That your prayers be not hindered. So, when we talk about cohabitating, it's the word here says, dwell with them according to knowledge. And this is what brings me to the topic tonight of teammate and roommate. And we're going to talk about some differences between a teammate and a roommate. So you got two people, husband and wife, that's the preferable choice. Amen? Living together. So are you living together as teammates or roommates? It's a big difference. It has a big difference to do with the atmosphere and the spirituality in that home. It has a lot to do with the compassion and the kindness that goes on to a home. So let's talk about this. Who in here played any kind of team sports? That's male or female, team sports, volleyball, kickball, all this. And you know, and who in here has had a roommate? I've had a roommate. I'm talking about a roommate that's not your spouse. Okay, well, lift your hand. I'll tell you something. We got married with a roommate. A roommate was there when we got married. Luther, which was a classmate of mine, was our roommate. He had moved to Birmingham. You didn't know that? Yeah, he was for 2 years later. Best roommate in the world. I'm gonna tell you what. I never saw him. I'm serious. Never saw him. First of the month, rent money was laid on the dresser. And I never saw him. Oh, he lived there. I knew he lived there. There was evidence when he come in, take a shower. He got up early to go to work, and he came in late. Most times we was asleep. And on the weekend, he was gone all weekend. But the money was just like clockwork. What more can you ask for?
That's right.
Nothing was bothering in the refrigerator. Wasn't no crazy action going in and out the house. No smoking, no drinking. He just came, took a shower. That was a roommate from God. I gotta ask you a question. Was your roommate like my roommate?
No.
Tell me just one or two people tell me about your roommate.
My roommate was still my makeup.
Wow.
My roommate would never, well, I shouldn't say never, but most of the time wouldn't have his half of the rent. You know, we supposed to be splitting it down the middle. Never hardly have his half.
Yeah. My roommate was just messy. I would walk in the kitchen, step on tomatoes, lettuce. I mean, just messy. I'm like, I know you saw that before you left out the kitchen. Just messy.
Anybody else got some roommate horror story? Yeah.
Well, I can't say it's a horror story. I like to be a little bit warm. The roommate I had, I guess she might have been going through heat flash or whatever. I was in Sarmiento County, and she liked the apartment cold. I liked it hot. So that was a problem.
You still like it hot.
So you was glad to kind of get away from that situation, right?
She was a good roommate. She was also very too, so that's good.
Zach, I thought I heard you.
Yeah, I had a roommate actually steal some shoestrings out of my shoes.
That's a dangerous
Because the
roommate.
reason why I knew they were stolen is because the shoestrings was white. They were clean. They were clean shoestrings when I left out the house. Came back, they dirty. I'm like, where are my shoestrings? He was like, I didn't have them. I was like, look, this one shoe is clean. Why is this shoe dirty? And he was like, I didn't tell you. Don't take the shoestrings. You can have the other one.
That's a petty roommate who will steal shoestrings and lie about
A
it.
shoestring. I was like, he was
Wow.
no, he just took his and split in my shoe.
Switched them
I
out.
was like, you go the other one.
God, I understand. This man clean his shoes with a toothbrush. Like, he don't put no shoes.
How else do you?
Calm
So teammate and roommate. So we all have some good roommates stories. But if you've been in organized athletics, you know it's very important. If you're going to be successful being a teammate, you're going to have to work together. You're going to have to work together. And there's a whole lot that goes into that. A whole lot that goes into it. I play basketball and baseball, the camaraderie and all the things that go into being a successful teammate, being a good teammate. So, can I honestly say that you and your wife should be teammates? Okay? You're teammates. So, as a teammate, can you tell me something? Tell me something. What do teammates do to the team better? Communicate. See, I could have put a list down here myself, but I want y'all to come up with some things here and see how it jives with my list. So they got to communicate, talk. Okay, let's go on the other side. Roommates. How much? Is it the same level of communication? With roommates, I think long as you can talk about the essentials, all the rest of it is conversation. Okay, well, what do you need to communicate as a roommate? When the rent? How much is yours? How much is mine? Okay, let's watch the heat, so the light bill, who paying this, who paying that.
That's still communicating.
It's still communicating. But it's communicating as a teammate on the same level as a roommate. No, it all depends. But in this case, as a husband and wife, when I talk about teammate, I'm talking about a husband and wife. I think the communication has to be on a much higher level. On a much higher level. One thing about the teammates, what makes teammates, they have to practice together. They have to practice together. Okay? They have to practice together.
You know what, Pastor?
Yes.
I just thought about it. I forgot. When I was in the Navy, I had 62 roommates /teammates. Cause we lived right there in the same building together. And we
we was all teammates and we had to work together. So it was like,
Was that a submarine?
no, I was on the ship.
Okay. Just asking neighbors. So you have to practice together. Practice together. So also, when you practice together, you also sweat together. So being a teammate is a much more personal type of deal. And I know some couples, they operate more as roommates than teammates. Okay? So once we get all these things down, we're going to just really go over this stuff and just see, just to make sure that we have to operate more as teammates than roommates. One thing, I'm going to do the room. I'm going to finish out the roommate side. Okay. Now with roommates, it don't matter who it is. It can be males, females, cousins, uncles, nephews. A variety of people can be roommates. Okay? So the people vary in a roommate situation. But as husband and wife teammate, it can only be those two.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with me? It can only be those two. Understand, if you are a team, you're supposed to be working together. Then you have to get together. You can't team up with anybody. That's the good point right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't team up with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Because even in teammates, you have tryouts. So when y'all were dating,
Mm-hmm.
those were the tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
You was big blessings. You was trying her out, and she was trying you out.
Trying me out.
Trying to see if you crazy, seeing seeing your mental capacity, seeing your income potential. I mean, it's a tryout. It's a tryout. Okay. To come on, I really want the ladies to step in on this. When you were interviewing your potential mate, what were you looking for? When you was looking for a teammate in life, Keish, putting you on the spot, what were you looking for? He's staring you down. You better say me. What were you looking? What qualities? What? Loyalty.
Someone to be loyal.
So you ain't want some joker that go out with. Okay. All right. Sandra. Oh, this gonna be good. What were you looking for?
I agree with Keisha, but I also wanted someone who was done with all that worldly stuff, hanging out with the guys and going out, and someone that I could respect.
So someone who was settled.
Yes.
Somebody like me.
So that was your ideal teammate, someone who was settled. Wow, interesting. Okay, Miss Lenore, what kind of teammate were you looking for?
Pretty much the same, loyalty, but somebody settled, but somebody also that I can trust. It could be my friend. Somebody I can trust and hang out with and have fun with. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Trust, hang out, have fun. Okay, all right.
My buddy, my friend.
Miss Monica,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of teammate were you looking for in life?
The first one, Lenora took, dealing with the trust. But what I can also add to that is someone that he wanted a future. We shared the same future goals with each other, wanted more out of life. And we would talk about that often.
Someone with some ambition.
Yes.
Someone with a vision.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
I got you. I wonder if you all are answering me out of your now. But I want the answer out of your then. Whereas you met when he was in the 20s, right?
Yeah. And we would drive around to all of the neighborhoods with the big houses and all of that in our 20s,
Oh, that's
saying that's where we're gonna be one day.
Because
That's what we did.
if I say it like that and I start going to the fellas, somebody will find.
Yeah, we would do that. Yeah.
Okay, so somebody with a future ambition, somebody with the potential to be able to take care of you. Oh, looking for that protection, that safety. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You didn't ask me, that was my question.
That's what you were looking for.
Security.
Security.
And I mean, not just from a financial standpoint, because right after I met Arthur, that was in the time that I had just lost my mom. And so, you know, security in addition to.
Okay, some emotional security, some spiritual. Just, okay, I got someone to make you feel safe. Okay, anybody else want to answer? Anybody else? Okay, so these are things you're looking for as your teammate. So what do you look for in a roommate? Can they pay? That's part of the thing. That's it. That's the whole list.
Well, you know, it's one of those things.
Yeah. Okay. So how about drama?
Yeah, you know, they stable in the mind.
Wait a minute. At the time you had your roommate, how stable in the mind were you?
I was stable in the one I was with.
I was ready, they was ready. We got to be ready, we're going to be ready together.
Okay. All right. So let's say less drama. Less drama than you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Because I'm quite sure you had your own set of dramas, but somebody with more drama than you, that's unacceptable. Your friend's crazier than mine, you got to go. You drink more than me, you got to go. You shoot at more police than I shoot at, you got to go. So less drama. Less drama. Okay. One thing, roommate, it's like I want to put it like this: high and by. High and by. You probably, you know, unless it's a cousin or a close family member, it's not mandatory to develop a strong relationship with a roommate. It's not mandatory to develop a strong relationship. Ooh, it's terrible. So it's not mandatory. But let's go over to teammate. Husband, wife, teammate. That has to be mandatory. You have to build a strong relationship as husband and wife. You got to know some things. You have to dwell with your wife according to knowledge. I wonder how many men in here actually took the time or is taking the time, have, is, and will continue to study your wife. Yes.
I said mine right off the bat, and I still do.
Just to know. I think there's a song, to know all about you. And that's a very non-selfish thing. When you're studying somebody to make sure that you can please them, to make sure that you can make them happy or in attempts to make them happy, that's intentional. When you dwell with them according to knowledge, that means you took the time to find out the things that they like and especially what they dislike. That is so very important.
But Pastor, it goes so much more than that. You know, sometimes in a relationship, you don't want to tell your significant other, you know, what's wrong. You know, maybe they're dealing with something. See, the Lord can tell me something, I can be like, okay, you ain't telling me something, but you can tell me when you're ready to tell me. Not tell it just like that. You can tell me when you're ready to tell me, but I ain't going to push you to tell me, but I know something more going on. Not just leave it like that.
Well, you studied her enough to know. I wouldn't know that about Lenore. What she tell me, I'm going to take it at face value. That's all she got to do. But you live with her according to a different type of knowledge than me.
But but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with, you know, with your relationship, you also look at those things they don't say too. You know, because it ain't always about what they say, and about pleasing is also knowing those little things that you can maybe help out to make a day go a little bit better.
And there's only one way to get there. There's only one way to get to that level, where you got to be attentive and you got to go through some things together. You got to go through some things together.
And then you say something, then you said a mouthful. Then.
And you learn more about a person through adversity than through good times. You must take advantage of every situation. I'm talking to men now. If you want to live or dwell with your wife according to knowledge, you will learn more about them during tough times than you will during good times. So be there, be a comfort, but also bring your notebook out. See exactly what made her cry, what was said, how it was said, how it was done. Take notes. Understand? You have to understand, like, sometimes when your significant other talks to you, she just want to talk. She don't want you to fix it. We want to fix everything. I had to learn this. Because we would have conversations, I would kept giving her solutions. and I kept giving, well, all you got to do is cut her off. Don't we talk to her no more? And you know, I was really in the conversation. I just fixed her problem. Just like that. Yeah, just don't even go to her no more. You ain't got to deal with that. But that ain't what she wanted. She wanted to talk about it.
But you know, the same goes for males as well. When they come talk to you, sometimes you try to get a little bit of advice, and all they're gonna do is vent and talk.
So you have to women that want to fix everything too.
Goes vice versa. But in general, in the most senses, that's how it is. Sometimes she just wants to talk. She don't want you to fix it. She just want to have you attentive and listening to what she is saying. She needs to. Women have more of an inclination to verbalize whatever's going on in their life, and men, we usually internalize things. You know, our talking looks like this. Because we're talking to ourselves. We're processing. We processors. Okay. And here's your baby, what's wrong? Which means I just ain't processed all this. I'll tell you what I want to tell you later. I just got to finish. Am I right that way? I'm processing.
Right. But you know what, though? But for me personally, I have no problem with expression. A lot of men have a problem with expression. I don't have a problem with expression. Now, the timing may be off. I may not want to talk in that moment, yes. But when I'm ready to talk, for me personally, I can't speak for every man in here, but for me, I don't have an issue. I can articulate what it is that's going on with me. Whereas with some men, it's a little more difficult to articulate that. But it goes back to what you were just saying. You deal with them according to knowledge. When the woman realizes, you know what, it's like pulling teeth, getting something out of him. You know, you deal with them according to that. So eventually you learn how to get that.
Why that's the case like that way? See, in the black community, we was told, you got to remember, from slavery, we couldn't express now because that when master took our children away from them. And that kept going from generation to generation because I'm going to tell you, the first time I heard my mama tell me the words, I love you, I was sitting in Geno, Saudi Arabia doing Desert Storm. I ain't never heard my mama tell me them words. Now, did I know she loved me? Yeah, I knew she loved me because I acted. But she never said those words. So when she told me I'm sitting on the bank thousands of miles away, and she said, I love you, I was like, why I go to say that? I ain't never heard it. Because you know, and that's the household I grew up in. So I didn't know what to say back to my mom because I really didn't because I ain't never heard them words.
Right.
So when you live in a household like that, it's kind of hard to express it when her mama treated her the same way and then just passed down generation to generation because we were taught not to tell our children we love them because if Malcolm see it, then he pulls them away.
But we've gone through it. I feel we've gone through enough generations where you should be able to at least express that, you know. But if you're, it all depends on who your mentor or who was presented, what marriage was presented before you, and you get a lot of keys and you get a lot of cues from that. And sometimes they're not the best keys or the best cues to be.
That's right.
Okay, not showing emotion, like, well, you acting like a punk, you know, stuff like that, and not being gentle or anything like that.
But you know, Pastor, I hear people tell me all the time how proud my granddad is, because I carry my granddad's name, our name's after him, and how proud he was. But you know, I never heard him say the words to me. I never knew. And when people say, oh boy, your granddad was so proud of you, I'd be like, what? But I wish I could have heard that, because, you know, he passed away when I was 16, and me and him were like this. I never heard him say that.
It goes right back to what Edward was saying. A lot of men may not have the verbiage to express how they feel. Now, they would show how. They'll throw their arm around you when you're going fishing, you know, you know, or that rub on the head.
That means something.
That does mean something, you know, to men. So those are some physical cues that they're giving, that they're proud. I mean, from a man's perspective, to his son or to his children, this might sound silly, but I'm telling you this is truthful. When a father look at his son and say, "Hey, come on, let's go ride with me," he done said, "I love you, I respect you, I want to be around you," just like that. You feel me? Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Just jump in the truck, and go ride. He done said it right then. He has said it right then. Okay. All right. So it's a whole lot of meat in between.